Aita for refusing to let my mother move back in after she sabotaged my engagement. Part 1. The original post. I, 27F, was engaged to my fiancé Mark, 29M. We'd been together 5 years and planning a small wedding this spring. My mom, 51F, raised me alone after my dad left. She's loving but controlling. When Mark proposed, she smiled but later said, "Are you sure you're not settling?" She's always had a way of making joy feel conditional. Because she'd been laid off, she'd been living with us temporarily. At first it was fine, but soon she started leaving subtle hints, telling Mark he should earn more, criticizing how I dressed, asking why he hadn't bought a bigger ring. Then one night, while I was at work, she told Mark that I'd been texting an ex completely false. Mark confronted me, confused and hurt. When I denied it, he said, "Your mom showed me screenshots." I checked her phone the next day. She'd edited old text to make it look like I'd flirted with my ex. I was shaking. When I confronted her, she burst into tears and said, "I'm just protecting you. He's not good enough." I told her to pack her things and leave. She screamed that I was choosing a man over family. Now my relatives say I abandoned her when she had nowhere to go. Mark supports me, but is wary. He said, if she could do that to me once, what happens when we have kids? So, AITA for kicking my own mother out? Edit Update 1 month later. Mom moved in with my aunt. She's been posting cryptic Facebook statuses like some daughters forget who wiped their tears. I've gone no contact for now. Mark and I went to couples counseling to rebuild trust. It's helped more than I expected. The therapist said something that stuck. Boundaries aren't rejection. They are protection. My mom tried calling from a different number last week. I didn't pick up. My aunt texted me that mom finally understands she went too far. I'm skeptical, but maybe time will help. Update 2, 6 months later. Mom reached out again, genuinely apologetic. She admitted she was jealous of my independence, said she'd sabotage things because she felt replaced. I agreed to meet for coffee, but made it clear she won't live with us again. She cried but said she understood. Mark and I got married quietly last weekend. She wasn't there. I don't feel guilty anymore, just relieved. Verdict after everything. Boundaries save my sanity. Sometimes love needs distance to survive. Story 2. AITA for cutting my brother out of my inheritance after he confessed to stealing from our dad. Part 1. Original post. My father died last year. He left behind a small business and some savings. In his will, he split everything equally between me, 34M, and my brother, 31M. I was executor, meaning I handled the accounts. While reviewing paperwork, I noticed huge withdrawals made before Dad's death, almost our $250,000 gone. Receipts were odd, cash transfers, no explanations. When I asked my brother about it, he avoided the question. A week later, he admitted he'd taken the money, saying Dad would have given it to him anyway. Dad had late-stage cancer at the time and wasn't aware. I was furious. That money could have covered Dad's medical bills. I told him I was reporting it. He begged me not to, said it was a loan. Instead of reporting him, I went to the estate lawyer and adjusted the inheritance distribution so that my brother's share would repay the missing funds. He still got something, but much less. When he found out, he exploded, said I stole from him and that Dad would be disappointed. The rest of the family is split. Some say I did the right thing, others say I played judge and jury. Now is threatening to sue me for mismanaging the estate. AITA for cutting his share to recover what he stole? Edit Update 1, 2 months later. He actually filed a claim with the estate court. It backfired. The bank statements proved everything. The lawyer confirmed I'd acted within my rights. After that, he blocked me on everything. My mom, divorced from Dad years ago, begged me to make peace, but I told her I'm done. You can forgive someone without trusting them again. Update 2, 1 year later. Haven't spoken in 12 months. Yesterday I received a letter, handwritten, from my brother. He apologized, said he'd been drowning in debt and felt ashamed. He didn't justify it this time. He just said, I was wrong. He also sent AR 5000 money order, a symbolic repayment. I called him. We talked for the first time in a year. It was awkward, emotional, but real. We're not brothers again overnight, but maybe eventually. Final verdict. I don't regret protecting Dad's legacy, but I've learned mercy doesn't mean weakness. It means waiting until someone's ready to own their mistakes. Story 3. Aita for refusing to take my fiancé back after he confessed on the eve of our wedding. Original post. I, 29F, was supposed to marry Daniel, 31M, 3 weeks ago. We'd been together 6 years. The night before the wedding, we were at the rehearsal dinner when he pulled me aside looking pale. He told me, I have to be honest before tomorrow. Turns out, 2 months earlier he'd slept with his co-worker while drunk at a conference. It was a one-time mistake, he swore. I walked out. My maid of honor followed me to the parking lot, while Daniel's mom tried to convince me to think logically and still go through with it because guests already flew in. I spent that night in a hotel, staring at the dress hanging in the corner. The next morning, I texted Daniel, wedding's off. I need time. He's been calling nonstop since. He says he told me because he didn't want secrets between us. My friends are split. Half say at least he confessed, half say he ruined everything. Now my parents are begging me to reconsider. Deposits are non-refundable, families embarrassed, etc. But I can't even look at him without shaking. Aita for walking away instead of hearing him out. Update 1, 2 weeks later. Daniel came over to return my things and ended up crying on my doorstep. He said he went to therapy, that the guilt was eating him alive. I told him I'm proud he's seeking help, but I'm not ready to reconcile. I realized something. Forgiveness doesn't always mean reunion. People online asked if there were signs. Yes, in hindsight, more business trips, less affection, vague answers. I ignored them because I wanted the fairy tale. Right now, I'm focusing on myself. I moved in with a friend, sold a wedding dress, and booked a solo trip for next month. Final update, 4 months later. Daniel's still in therapy. He wrote me a long letter apologizing without asking for anything. I appreciate that. We met for coffee. I told him I forgave him, but I can't rebuild what broke. He said, I get it. I just wanted you to know I'm better because I hurt you. Maybe that's closure. Story 4. Aita for reporting my boss's favoritism after it cost my coworker her job. Original post. I, 26F, work in marketing at a mid-sized firm. My boss, Greg, 45M, has always played favorites, mainly with his assistant Tara, 27F. Everyone noticed. She got lighter workloads, bigger bonuses, and mysterious late-night meetings. Last quarter, Greg blamed a failed campaign on Mina, 32F. Even though Tara had approved the design, Mina was fired. I felt sick. She was competent and hardworking. A week later, by accident, I opened a shared drive folder labeled Archive 2021. Inside were chat screenshots between Greg and Tara, messages like delete that report before the execs see it. They literally plotted to pin the blame on Mina. I printed everything and took it to HR. I didn't expect fireworks, but within a week an investigation started. Greg was suspended pending review. Tara quit. Now I'm being iced out by some coworkers who say I nuked the department and should have minded my own business. Mina thanked me privately, but said it's too late for her job. Aita for blowing the whistle even though it hurt my team. Update 1, 2 months later. Corporate concluded the investigation. Greg was terminated for misconduct and falsifying records. HR quietly offered me a promotion to interim lead, probably to keep me loyal. I took it, but it's awkward. People whisper that I only moved up because I tattled. I can live with that. Integrity doesn't make you popular. It makes you sleep at night. Final update. 6 months later. The department finally stabilized. Mina got rehired at another branch. I wrote her a reference. She's thriving. I've learned that whistleblowing isn't glamorous. It's lonely, messy, and sometimes people hate you for doing the right thing. Still, if I face the same choice again, I'd do it twice.